right, comes back left. Nani shoots. Oh my goodness, Luis Nani! Here goes Daryl DK at Wormhorn. DK shoots, scores! DK wins it for Orlando! The biggest man in MLS comes up huge!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Lions Blog Podcast. I'm your host, Gavin Rushnell, and today we're doing part 2 of our 3-part draft scouting series. And of course, we're going in order here. So we got Nathan Dossantos, the left-sided center back that we're scouting today. And I've got a new, fun co-host today. Maybe not co-host, more like guest. I'm stealing him from Orlando Lions Den. It's Eddie. What's up, Eddie?
What's up, Gavin? Good. Thanks for having me on. Glad to be here. We got this video series that you guys have been doing. That's been great. It's something new no one else is doing, and I think the fans really appreciate the insight you guys have brought so far. And hopefully, I could add some to that.
Oh, I think you can. You're a pretty smart cookie. Well, thanks for agreeing to come on. And we've got a long couple of videos to watch. We're gonna do a little bit of a different style this time because we got 2 videos. So we have the one that he posted, or like maybe his agent or whatever. He basically his camp posted a 5-minute video of all his highlights, and then I went through and found a game on YouTube. It was the final against Indiana University, in which they won. So he's a NCAA soccer champion. And I went through and clipped every single one of his major actions like I did for Jack Lynn. It's a long one because he touches the ball a lot because Indiana sat back. They sat real deep. So pretty frustrating because I was excited to see some of his defense in action, which we will see. And there's some things to touch on there, definitely. So let's get straight into it if you're okay with that, Eddie.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so let me share the YouTube one.
I appreciate
first.
you not putting like the Tiesto soundtrack behind every touch, like his 5-minute highlights.
No, yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Those are my favorite. Was the techno soundtrack in the back?
It's annoying. There was one of those for Facundo. Well, there was like 5 of them for Facundo.
There was one for Dos Santos. There was one where like it builds up and then it stops, and you're thinking something's great, and then he just kind of hits a ball over the top. Somebody got on it, but it wasn't like it wasn't. It
was all hype for literally nothing.
Yeah, the music didn't match the moment.
No, yeah. So let's look at these first. He's a highly accoladed young man. In terms of NCAA D1 champions, Conference USA champions the same year. That's the conference he was in. Most clean sheets. Part of one of the best defenses in the league. Full stop, I want to say. And then individual accolades. You've got first team all conference, NCAA all tournament, and then just a bunch of other individual stuff. So we've clearly got someone who at the college level is highly regarded.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Let's see, and this is his highlights. So these are the good moments for him. One thing we're going to see right off the bat that's painfully obvious is his technique. And you've watched these videos, so
yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts about having someone with this skill set in our locker?
Well, I mean, I like the idea of someone who can kind of carry the ball a little bit and is not afraid to be on the ball. I can see how we like that, and seeing that we've recently drafted Kamal Miller in the 2nd round, another left-footed center back who provided some versatility by playing left wing for us, who's played in the back 4 and the back 3. I can see how they go back to the Canadian well, which has worked well for us, Laren, Larea, Kamal Miller, and take a chance on Dos Santos. As you can see in some of these clips, you can see like that one right there. You can see a little Jansen like thunderfoot, So
and that's what we're going to see. especially in this video. I mean, that crosses the whole pitch basically, and on a dime in the player's path. He's got that ability in him to really kick the ball across the field. This is the game that we're going to see later. He's got a good headed clearance there. But yeah, I think this is another one. Oh no, not quite. That was just a through ball basically. But we don't see that as much in the Indiana game because the way they kind of cut off passing lanes. But this is really good from him. So this is kind of the first one I really wanted to stop and look at. I went way too far back because there's a lot of space there. It's not, we got to remember this is college, but the way he just takes it, runs into the space, passes it off. I mean, sorry, 1 second here. There we go. This run and pass right here takes out 5 defenders if you think about it. And that's a tasty proposition.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that he carries the ball forward like that. If you look, you'll see Antonio Carlos and Janssen both do that with us. And then the way they kind of isolate both of the center backs with their fullbacks up high, you definitely see Carlos and Janssen often that way, where you're not seeing a straight back line there. It's support. It's more about the transition and individual responsibilities in space. Marshall seems to play similar in that way, so I can see how that skill set can transfer over right away.
Yeah, very exciting there in terms of on the ball. And if Janssen were to go down, we do have a little bit more like for like in terms of the distribution side. Now the defensive side is one that I really want to focus on as well, because defending in college and defending in MLS is two different animals. This is going to show his speed, this clip right here, and I think he gets back well because they're at full speed. The player does have to slow down to get the ball, but I think this is a good sprint back from Nathan here. He can clearly get to full speed pretty quickly and get back. I think from what I've seen through the 2 videos and from watching this game in particular, he's a better defender the closer he is to the midfield line. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
As we'll see in the Indiana game, there are some instances where he's a little bit further or backtracking with someone running at him, and it doesn't look as good. Now, this one I really liked. This little body fake here. Ooh.
Oh, that's nice right there. And look how high he is. Look how high he is at that point. He constantly carries the ball past the middle of the pitch. He reminds me of kind of what Arsenal asked Ben White to do at times, right? Now, I know Nathan's been... Yeah, just kind of take it up a little bit. And sometimes, there's transition moments you have to have the pace and awareness to get back. He seems to read the game pretty well, I think, as well. But I'm not sure if he's someone, when you sit back, you're going to feel comfortable launching the back crosses and kind of stuff. He definitely uses his athleticism, I think, and some of his pace to kind of close out defenders. I'm not sure if he's going to handle some of the bigger guys. He's not that big of a guy, but you have a big striker who's going to kind of be of a target man. That's where we're going to see more of the challenge for Dos Santos, I think.
I think you're spot on. He's not huge, and he doesn't give you that kind of that dominant center back feeling when you watch him, like Walker Zimmerman does, or or Antonio Carlos. Antonio Carlos gives me dominant center back feelings. He's more of that secondary, ball possession defender. And it's an interesting tool to have. I really do think it's an interesting tool to have. How well do you think it's going to translate to MLS? I think he's clearly our 4th choice center back at the moment, and there's no problem with that. But I think, there could be a game or 2 where he's going to get called upon to play at the central position. Do you think it'll translate?
I think on the ball will translate. I think what I would like to see from him, maybe at times a little more pace. I think sometimes he moves the ball. He'll move it, and he looks. You might not have as much time in the MLS, and also I think sometimes even the sideways passes. I would like a little more pace on it. You'll see a little bit more pace from Carlos and Janssen, some of those passes. And one thing I do like about the fact that he's pretty nice on the ball is that when we do have Rodrigo playing for Carlos or Janssen, The defense, I think there's a more like for like in regards to defensive ability, but the on the ball ability is the biggest drop when you go to Rodrigo from Janssen or Carlos. Now, not that he should pass Rodrigo. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if I think the Rodrigo's maybe is better in the air, I'd say, and then Dos Santos looks like he's more skilled on the ball. So you're currently targeting both things, and there's times where people kind of sit back on us, and Janssen's long balls and balls over the top and line breaking passes are extremely useful to kind of trigger our offense, and that's something you see Dos Santos do quite a few times, like right there. Look at that.
Yep, that's translatable to MLS. Like,
yes,
that's something that could work for us, and I think your analysis there is spot on. And then as we get into the Indiana game, there's not much to pause and look at here. Again, these are his highlights. The Indiana game, your point about his passes, some of his passes are very slow, and they aren't fizzed. The ball slows down as it gets into the player. I don't know if that was instruction. Because of the way Indiana were playing, they were sitting deep and they were trying to kind of bait them out, or if it was just he was being a little too calm with his passing, so to say. Yeah,
I feel like if you watch the Indiana game, they were sitting deep, and he's looking to break lines. He's looking to go over the top. You could tell they asked that of him. But when it wasn't there, it was just a little very soft. Even that little back pass, that's a keeper. You don't want to blast it to him, but it's kind of dying down a little bit. And with the increase in speed in MLS, you don't want to put anyone in a precarious situation. You want to move the ball quickly, and there are teams that press, and there are a lot of teams like to press in their final third. So if you're over here passing at a slow pace, they're going to close that down, and you're going to put, let's say, your defensive midfielder in the situation where he's got to move the ball quickly because there's a 2-on-1 about to happen because of the slow pace of the pass.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is a decent example of it, that this pass slows down as it gets into his feet. And, you think of someone like a Diego Chara or a Darlington Nagby, they would love to see that. They would just step right in front. So there they are celebrating the win. So that was the first one. Again, there's not much. I don't have a lot of insight on a lot of those. My personal favorite video to talk about is going to be this next one. So sorry you have to sit through all of that, Eddie.
No problem. Sorry about my video here. I'm not sure it's coming in and out, and I'm too dark. If I need to turn the light on.
That's all right. I'm not too worried about it. So let me share my screen and then get in here.
I like the center back who will pass, who will pass forward. I appreciate that he does that, but But at the same time, I'm worried about, like, you do that, you're passing too slow against Red Bulls or something like that, against Red Bull, and that could be, I could see him getting caught out, and that's going to be a no.
Or putting Mendez in a dangerous situation, and he gets caught in midfield, and then we're going to see in these clips he struggles with people running at him on the ball. So this game is very much. Again, Indiana sit back, a lot of sideways passing. I think the idea of it is to bait Indiana out. Now, one thing I want you guys to watch as we're watching these clips is his first touch, because obviously the first touch is one of the most important things in the sport. It sets you up for where you want to go. So if your first touch is to the left, that means you want it to go to the left. If your first touch to the right, your idea was to go to the right. And I think he has a really good first touch. It sets him up to do the right thing that he wants to do almost every time. So just keep an eye out on that. And then number 17 here, his name is Herbert Endley. I would recommend you guys keep an eye on that name. Dossantos struggles with him in this match. So this is him, his first encounter with him in the match, fouls him. And then this is the next one, steps to him, can't get the ball off him, and then he goes in the box and gets a penalty claim. Doesn't win the penalty, but yeah. So I think did I go back too far? Yeah, I did. I thought I was only going back in increments of 5, so I apologize about that.
No problem.
But
that guy had the whole back line on yellow cards.
Oh, yeah.
Back line on yellow cards.
Yep. So stabs him twice, doesn't win the ball. I wasn't too thrilled with that because it wasn't really strong. Now, it's one thing to think about is this is NCAA championship final, so everyone's nervous. First 10 minutes, everyone's got the jitters, and he clearly had them there. So I'm not going to penalize him too much on it. But yeah, first touch straight out of his feet. He's looking forward and then just passing it sideways.
I think he got his head up and he's looking to pick a pass forward. Yeah, that's a good ball.
Yeah.
You show some of the slow side passes. We're talking about like that. Like that. Okay, I know he's there, but it's a little pepper on it, you know. And then they sort of pressed a little bit. He did fine to get out of it. He can do a little feint, a little quick kind of switch and get out of little jams. So I appreciate that athleticism. I'm not worried about him on the ball per se, as long as he moves it more quickly. What I'm more worried about is the physical aspect.
Mm-hmm. And again, I think I would hope that it's more instruction versus the way he's playing in general, because you're not going to move anybody with that kind of slow roller of a pass. And like we talked about,
it could be that turf too.
It's dangerous. Yeah, it could be. So here's Endley again running at him, and I wanted to get your thought on this play in particular. Do you think he defends this well?
They show it on this video. I think they show it from the other side too, right?
Do they? They might.
I felt like I saw it from back in, and he's running at. I mean, the guy obviously.
Oh, it might have been a different clip. It might be this clip. So they're similar clips, but they're different. So
yeah.
Here's the first one, because I think he's running back. I keep using my fingers in these videos. He's running back at an angle that I like. I like this kind of style of running back, not going square. Yeah. And then he never really steps in.
No, that's what I would have liked there is right before he shoots, that half second, if he would have stepped in, and when you're in that area, you want him to go wide. You want him to get away from the center. So you want him to get towards the box and lessen his angle to shoot or move him towards your help. Because if you look at the way Marshall's playing, a lot of times the two center backs are pretty isolated. In this case, this guy's running at 5 people, right? Yeah. So if he just pushes them outside, he's got a fullback right next to him. Right? That's what I would have liked right there. I would have just liked maybe to pump the brakes right there and just step in. But he was probably afraid to get a challenge at the top of the box, maybe get a penalty. But I do like the running back sideways like that. He seemed aware and light on his feet, but I would have liked him to step up or just try to find a way to maybe get a little more physical and find a way to get him outside. Yeah,
and that style of running back is the best way to do it. That's what you're taught as a young kid, because if they go right, then you have the angle to go, and if they go left, you can flip your hips easily. Whereas if you're square on them, you're dead in the water. So here he is again. This one, to me, he gets caught a little bit in no man's land. Here's the one where it has the second clip.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's his running style. I keep using my fingers. There's his running style again. But then he just stops, and Endley gets a good pass off here, and they nearly score if not for an intervention there by the center back.
If you go back to it though, it's okay. You go back to it real quick. Go right when it's kind of like right there. See, so it almost looks like he sees the run from the guy who's going to diagonal run. Maybe he sees that and anticipates he's going to play him through. I'm not sure, but I would like him to be maybe like one step to the right.
Yeah, and that's a good point. To the right. That's a good point, because if this player right here gets the ball over here,
he's in on goal.
Yeah, and he's got to do something there. I think you might be right, and those types of runs are dangerous. Those types of runs are what fool defenders, and that one extra little step can really hurt you. So there we go again with the first touch. I'm going to keep harping on it. just out of his feet forward. Like, it's just a simple thing, but I really think in almost every single case when he gets the ball, his first touch sets him up for success on the second touch, which I think is, again, translatable to MLS.
Absolutely.
Here he gets bullied, almost gives away a goal. Not the best defending. This is him right here, watching the ball. Easily could have been a goal. So
shades of 2020. Orlando set piece defending. Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
yeah. That year we got it sort of under control until the end. But to me, he seems like a center back who's going to read the game, cut off lanes, close you out. He's not going to like stick to you. He's not going to. Sometimes Carlos, you'll see him really like on the back hip of a striker, and he kind of gets in front of him, bullies him a little bit, right? And he likes to read the pass and kind of cut it off. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's that. So I think he's that, which is different. But I don't know how that part translates. That's my main worry, I guess. And then because of that, I don't know if he's got the physical nature to kind of rough it up in the box, and that's the part. The MLS, and just like every kind of American sport, when there's a lack of technical ability, we make it up with violence and speed and force. so not that NCAA is a step down, is a step up from that. But my point is, everyone's bigger, faster, and better. And if that's a deficiency there, like he got dunked on by that guy. Yeah, it's going to be even a bigger deficiency when it's CJ Sapong.
Yeah, definitely. Except, luckily, they're in the East. So one thing I like is he clearly wants. He's looking for those long balls that we saw in the first video. He does that a couple times in this video. He gets the ball out of his feet, and he's looking to make those switches. And I think Indiana, this game, clearly, it's the final. They've done their scouting. If you look, every time he gets the ball, his passing lanes are pretty well covered, and that's why we see a lot of sideways passes with him, I think. Whereas in the other videos, when he has space, he's able to do something with it. So there he is again. He maybe could have, passed it out here, went with the safer option, which I guess wasn't that safe. It was in between two players, but
Marshall seems to like to have Dossantos on the ball, and that kind of midfielder we're seeing at the bottom of the circle there in the College Cup. So sometimes
this guy right here.
Yeah, this guy to your right, at the bottom there. Yeah, him. Yeah, see, he was just right where in the College Cup. I think there's a few times where Dossantos passes it to him in traffic too much. See right there, that one's fine. But at that play before, he kind of passed it to him a little bit in traffic. I
see what you're saying.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I'm just scared for Mendes right there. And then if you're gonna do that with the slow passing, that's the part I don't like. But look right there, where that little sideways pass. Look how high up he was. He does this all the time, and he doesn't. He's not gonna do a run like Jansen and get in the box or anything like that. But he's nice enough on the ball where he feels like he could ping a through ball or direct ball into someone's feet from there, and that's a useful trait for sure.
Now, one thing that we saw, you brought up Kamal Miller, is Kamal get shoved out to the left a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot of it. He was basically a backup left back for us. Do you think that's a possibility here for Dossantos?
I think it depends how we use the left back. If we use him like we use Kamal Miller, where he didn't go up as high, I think it's a possibility. Good. Yeah. And I know you like that, right? Chain him down to the back.
You're never gonna let that go.
Yeah, I like to think about that, but it's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Oscar used to always just kind of send one fullback up. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And we talked about Arsenal earlier. Tomiyasu stays back, right? And it's more of a less of a back three, and it just Tierney goes up. So if we were to do that, then I think he'd be suitable. He's nice on the ball in regards to over the top, and he's direct. I don't know if he can cross. I don't know, but I feel like he's got enough pace to get up a little bit and get back some. But I wouldn't want him to be marauding up the left side, like Kieran Tierney or Andy Robertson or anything like that. But Muzi did say that the players we're drafting and picking up are players that, based on how we're trying to play, and he implied might be different how we're planning on playing.
That's
So
interesting.
Muzi did say that. So that made me, Muzi himself said that. And that made me think. I was like, you back three? I don't know. To me, I'd rather him, if we do a back three, I'm not saying we should, but I see him more as a third, like a left-footed third center back, which I think Kamal Miller's best position is, and he's shown that in Montreal and even the Canadian team at times. I see him more that way and in kind of a makeshift left back. But right now, Moutinho's healthy, he starts, and then Kyle has shown that he's capable on the left. You know, if we're gonna do that, I don't know if he's like automatically the starting left back or the backup left back. I'm not sure, but I think this team has shown, and the scouting and just the overall signing of players has shown they like players who can do multiple things, who can be versatile. So it's very much in the realm, and very likely actually that they see him as he can play in the back four, he can play in the back three, he could even do a job at left back.
Okay, a couple interesting things that you said there. First of all, I 100% agree. That was my first take on him being the left center back in a back three. I think that's where he would be safest defensively, because he has that kind of center back behind him to kind of give him that leeway. And the second thing about Muzi saying the way we're trying to play, if we are sticking to a back two or a back four, not a back two, at left back, don't you think we could see him turn into a left center back if we're building up in a 3-2-5 shape or a 3-4-4 shape sort of thing?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And then he could, if he's able to do that, right, then that might free up Mendes to go up a little higher. Because what you saw last year a lot, when you saw Moutinho or even with Kyle didn't go up as much, but even Mas will go up a lot. Mendes drops back into a left back spot a lot. And he's the third defender oftentimes, right? And if Dos Santos can do that, then that could free up Mendes and maybe bring some more numbers into the middle of the park. And sometimes when we got in trouble is when we would lose the midfield. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's an approach that we could take for sure.
Yeah, I like this clip because of the way he moves his hips here. His hips are angled to a pass to the right, and that fakes this guy out, opens them, or really just toe pokes it past him, and then they're up the pitch a bit. So again, the run into the midfield. I'm not a fan of this one.
Yeah, that's the worst sequence he has, and it's not just because of this. He's a little chill, a little lackadaisical at times. Like he's very nice on the ball. His head's picked up. He's not worried about losing it, like ever, right? And he feels like someone comes up and press him, he gets around him. But that time, right
loses
there,
it.
Yeah,
player keeps it in, and he just Boop. I mean that was like
go back just a little bit to there. After he loses it, go back, just keep going. Okay, right there. What are you doing, bro? Like keep going. Like okay, you think? What do you think? Look, what is that? Stick a leg out.
That's ridiculous.
That's the part. That's the worst sequence he has there. They're playing, thinking that's outside, and look behind them at the top corner of the box. I mean, there's a guy right there and another guy in a 2-on-1 scenario. So, repress play from there if you don't mind, Gavin. Look, and luckily the other guy bails him out, but geez, that was not good.
That was
that's a really bad moment, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's something that you can cut out pretty quickly. It happens once and you get punished for it. You're never going to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. And they almost did. This match ended up being 1-0 in overtime, right? Yeah. So that could have been a disaster there.
It really could have.
But right there, look, he was in a similar situation. He was tidy. Just got rid of it with his right foot, and that's all he'll do.
Yeah. Here's Endley running at him again. Gets caught in absolute no man's land. So this is imagine. Maybe I went a little too far back here, but we'll find the clip. This is the one where you said he was tidy. Usually this goes back in 5 seconds. So imagine this being a Hani Mukhtar. Mm-hmm. And then he just stops in no man's land. I mean...
Yeah, no cover behind.
that's like a Randall Leal. I mean, that's not good. That's why I don't like the idea of him being in a back four.
That's exactly the goal they Nashville scored in the final match, wasn't it? Where they the Allen Chapman experience. Yeah.
It is. It's very similar. Yeah. No, you're fine. So that's why I'm thinking left back.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably where he's going to get his game time if he makes the roster, which I think all three of our draft picks will make the roster, considering how much, Deadwood we kind of moved out in terms of our contracts. None of our draft picks from last season made it for this season. This is a good clearance, high, out, lots of airtime. It's what Adam and I talked about in the Jack Lynn scouting video. Surprisingly, Jack Lynn's pretty good at clearing the ball defensively.
There's a big dude in that. He's got a noggin on him, so he could help out in those corners. Like DK used to do, right? DK was clearing all kinds of stuff on corners.
So here he is again, looking pretty good away. The further away he is from goal, stepping in there. That's a good step.
Yeah, he read that perfectly.
Yeah. So I like going. I forgot to make this point. So going back to what you were saying, he's very about Muzi's point about the way we want to play. He's a very possession-oriented center back. It does make me think: are we looking to have a more possession-oriented system this season? Because if you look at Cesar Araujo from the scouting video we did, he can do possession. Mendez can do possession. Everybody else can do possession, obviously, but little things like this. Do you have anything there or no?
No. I think you're absolutely you're right on that. I think last year there was a combination of a couple different things where Oscar just kind of back.
Hold on, Eddie, hold on. You're lagging.
Oh, okay.
Still lagging. Sorry. Try now.
How about now?
Yeah, you're good. Okay.
I think last year what happened with the combination of injuries and just different things, that Oscar just kind of went back to some of maybe his roots. Let's be hard to beat. Let's be. But when he had time to kind of instill a system, and we saw that MLS back. We're possession oriented. And we're a more fluid team. I think that's what he wants to do now, and maybe he's trying to instill that. I definitely think if you're getting Dossantos, it's not for a big physical center back or kind of dominant in the air. You're getting him for possession. You're getting him for his ability on the ball, his ability to pass, and his calmness on the ball, and his boldness with his passing at times. It's bold, and with that comes some risk.
Yeah, it's definitely risky.
And center backs, both starting center backs that way, and I think you see Janssen. I think towards the end was very, very bold in his passing, and I definitely think you're spot on about that for sure.
Yeah, this clip here, what we're gonna see is some speed. So here's that Endley guy again running with the ball. Gets a little bit delayed here by this player, and he does well to get back. So turns on the jets there and gets back and stops him basically. So
took a good angle too.
Yeah. So again, further away from goal. Here he is stepping in a midfield, gets a pass off, gets it back, lays it off.
You see, but both of those guys are kind of under. That second one, a little too much weight. To feet would have been better. And the first one, the guy was a little bit crowded. It seems like he either progresses it forward or just finds the closest guy. And sometimes maybe just one more look, just a little turn, and maybe one other option would be a good idea. And at times, I don't. Yeah, I feel like he put. I feel like they because they're trying to block. Like, look at that pass. They're trying to block the lanes. At times, the six was a little bit crowded. That's not Dossantos, right?
No, it's not. The one thing
he could do that.
The one thing I did want to say in this clip is I think this is kind of where you see tactics come into play. is he clearly kind of stops himself here and waits for, I keep using my hand, waits for this guy to kind of commit to him, and then he gets the pass off, and then they're able to play out from the back. And that's how you kind of suck people in to open space for your attackers, and then boom, that's a striker going on the ball to lay it off to somebody, hopefully. So that's, again, those little things are smart, that are, again, translatable to MLS. I'm not saying he's going to start. I don't think he's going to be a starter for us anytime soon, but I think he can do a job if Janssen goes out. Big tackle there.
Yeah, reading the game pretty well there, and he's got a lot of freedom. I don't know if he's going to have that much freedom with us. You see how far he went up on that tackle?
Eddie, does anybody in our team have freedom under Oscar?
Some people just take the freedom, So I don't know. Some people just kind of pop up where they wanted to either way. Yeah, Nani. Yeah, for sure. And some people were, I'm not sure what to do. But when we played better, it felt like at least our front three was more free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think this year we see. Yeah, I think this year what we see, if Patos are starting striker, I think we see him more as a false nine, and that could lend to some nice kind of possession play as well. So I think the whole possession angle from Dossantos is definitely something. It has to be the main reason. He seems like he's got a good football IQ, but that I apparently only left feet are culture, not right feet. But that left foot is pretty culture for being a collegiate left foot.
Yeah, and
political science major, you got some culture on that left foot too.
You're killing me, man. The other thing I like about his passes are they do put people into space. So this is a perfect example of it. So perfect timing there on me. But and they're either on the right foot or they put them into space, and there you go. We're up the field instead of having to stop and get the ball.
Exactly, and because he's not scared to lose the ball and take someone on if someone comes on, he breaks people in, which creates a little more space to get the pass off, right? Because on that one, right, you had shown earlier that he almost waits for the guys to close in on him, and then he moves the ball, and that created that lane for the left back, because the guy defending the left back also kind of took the bait there.
Yeah. So while it would be scary for him to kind of do these slower passes against the New York Red Bulls, I do wonder if, for example, we were to face them and Janssen and Schlegel were to be injured and we had to throw them in there, if that might, yeah, seriously, if that might be a slight, we would have a defender who works for that, because he could possibly play around the rebel press.
Get by one guy, carry it up. You're gonna have to.
You're lagging again.
Oh, I said I think that when you're being. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure what's going on with you today.
Sorry, guys.
All right, you might be good there. This is a yellow card, a smart yellow card in my opinion, because if you look, this Endley guy who's given him problems all game, I mean, he's gone if he doesn't make that challenge with that header.
Absolutely.
All right,
that was good.
You're good.
Yeah, that was a smart yellow for sure. I don't mind yellows. People scared of yellows. It's just not all yellows are created equal. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
That was a grown man yellow. It was what he needs to do.
Now that pass was kind of fizzed in, yeah. There it is again.
That one too. There he goes.
There's 2 minutes left in the game. All of a sudden he's picking up the pace.
I would never get over like second clock how it counts down like that. It's so dumb.
It's weird.
It just can't go to 90. Yeah, I mean, look how many touches does he have? I mean, our center backs have a lot of touches. Usually, the most touches are the center backs, and Mendes, right? Or if Martinez there, he gets a lot of touches. But this guy gets a ton of touches. Yeah, if that's the whole thing. This guy gets a ton of touches, man.
Yeah,
everything. The right center back, like it's no. I know you cut it up, but I'm just talking about when you look at the overall touches in the match. The right center back just got his sideways passes, and they don't ask as much out of him as they do Dos Santos.
Right, yeah. Now, there are times, obviously, where the right center back gets the ball in possession and has to do something with it. And they had so much possession in this game that it was like everyone was getting a lot of touches, but he was clearly the one they were building through. So a lot of times the game would, like, the camera would be doing a zoomed in shot on somebody. And then when they zoomed back out, because the goal kick had been kicked in, it's at Dossantos' feet. Like, he was clearly the guy who they were building through. And that's good. That says a lot. Now here he is 1v1 against that Endley guy. Endley does take too big of a touch there, but he reads that well and gets a good challenge in. I want to say, so we're coming up on the end here. There's just one last bit at the end that I wanted to just kind of have a chuckle about. But it could be like I'm not going to overanalyze it, but here he is celebrating and they're all happy. Yeah. And then he gets up and he just gives this little kid over here a high five, and I just love it. Right here, ready? Whoop. Oh, I love that.
Why is he with the rest of the team?
Yeah, no, he's
just over there snorting turf pellets. You know, I don't know what that was, but yeah, he had a good game. That was the national championship. That was Marshall's first championship. They won the conference a couple years before. He came from another school. But yeah, I mean, he was with TFC's academy right until he was 15.
I want to say, yeah. And then we obviously took him. Now that Endley guy, I think he's getting looks from Minnesota United. So, but yeah. I might be watching a couple more of his games this season to see if he'd be interesting for us to look at.
Yeah,
but the other thing I wanted to look at here, because I wanted to make sure I got this right, was where is it? First
Can I ask you something, Gavin?
Conference Defensive Player of the Year. That's what it was. That's a big accolade right there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. How do you think he compares to Kamal Miller? Who do you think is the better player coming out of college?
On the ball, definitely Dossantos. Defensively, Kamal. Now, I'd like to see him against some real opposition defensively, because I think it could be even worse than what some of these highlights videos showed. But I would have to lean on the side of Kamal coming out of college. I mean, if you remember, it was like a month into Kamal's first year with us, and he was getting reps with the Canadian national team. So clearly everyone was pretty high on him. Montreal got him for a little too cheap for my liking. So I'd say Kamal.
The Kamal, we started the season with 3 at the back, didn't we? And Kamal started.
We did. And him, DeJohn, and who was the other guy? Was it
Shane?
Oh, Shane.
Yeah. Shane O'Neill. Shane O'Neill's resurrected. Don't call it a comeback in Seattle, man. Yeah. Miguel Gallardo told us, no, Shane O'Neill's good. We're not good, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, Shane O'Neill's in Toronto now.
Yeah. Shane O'Neill's done fine. Got to the final. The Kamal is I forgot what to say. Oh yeah, Kamal going was a surprise. It wasn't. They didn't think he was going to get taken, and they wanted to protect someone that they felt was going to get taken, and the person they protected did turn out to be very necessary that year. So it sucks, but it doesn't mean it was necessarily wrong.
We also got protection this year because of it. So
yes.
But now we're open again next year for St. Louis. So, you can't predict these things,
No.
I'm sure there was a player who was taken randomly. Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
So, and I think Dossantos has potential. I think this first season might, I think he's going to get a couple appearances. Not as much as Kamal did in his first season. Maybe like 5 or 6, I think. Maybe similar to a Holiday.
Yeah. Do you think or should we say when Moutinho is out, does he go right in as the left back or Kyle?
Well, it seems like Moutinho only goes out when Juan is out too. So those two got something going on there. They're setting it up on purpose.
Yeah.
I think we could see him at left back this season. Yes.
You think so? You would,
obviously, Kyle Smith would be my preference.
Yeah. I don't see enough from this to rather play. I mean, he's nice on the ball, but I think I didn't see enough defensively to want to sit down Kyle Smith there. Especially if we're going to have a left back sit back. Kyle Smith is very good defensively, and Dossantos nice on the ball, but I don't think he's going to be marauding up the left flank anyway. So at that point, defense is more what's necessary, and Kyle's going to edge him out there. So, do you think so? You think he's above Tom? Our other center backs after Schlegel? Schlegel's the third center back, obviously, right? It's Thomas Williams, and then the pending homegrown signing of Kemba Walaalube, who's just a child, anyways. Do you think Dos Santos takes right into that fourth center back spot then?
I think he will. I think he'll. I mean, Williams is what, 17?
Yeah.
No one plays 17-year-old center backs. No one does.
Yeah.
So it's going to be. I think it's going to be a fourth slot, and he's going to provide competition at third string left back, I think. So, but I think he does make the roster. So, and he provides interesting on the ball possibilities in the future in terms of build up out of the back if he does somehow explode onto the scene. So, Eddie, thank you so much. I'm 100% positive all my listeners know where to find you. But if there's 99.9%, I should say, go ahead and plug yourself.
You got it. Thanks for having me on, man. These videos are great. Thanks for piecing it all together like that. That's not easy to do. But my name is Eddie. You can find me Eddie at Commish, and I am one of the co-hosts of the Orlando Lions Den podcast. So just look at us, look for us there, Orlando Lions Den podcast. Make sure you support all of the Lions blog and the Orlando Lions Den podcast. There's a lot of good content coming out from all over the place, and these guys do a great job.
Yeah, obviously, love your podcast. You guys make me laugh like almost every episode. You guys are so funny, I swear to God. So
Thank you.
Always good to have you on, and make sure you guys listen to that. When are you guys recording again? I've been itching.
Yeah, it's up. Cleon somehow, his contract when he's on the off season, he's off. Right now we have a situation. We have Alex Ryder's getting married in March.
Congrats to him.
Alex Brown's having a baby.
Oh my Lord.
JJ was just flew back from Portugal today, and Cleon's his contract is he jokes about it, but really it's not a real contract. But he jokes about when it's off season, it's really hard to get him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think you guys want a solo one from me. So I just when the Fagundo stuff is more official, we'll probably do a Spaces or a podcast. Well, once that's announced, either the next by the time this comes out or whatever.
Yeah, hearing whispers that tomorrow's going to be a good day.
Mm-hmm, right.
Yeah. So. Tomorrow being Friday. So.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Eddie. We went long on this one because I think we're both talkers, but really appreciate it. And you have a good rest of your night.
You too, buddy.
Spins right, comes back left, Nani shoots, oh my goodness, Luis Nani! Here goes Daryl DK at one horn, DK shoots, scores! DK wins it for Orlando! The biggest man in MLS comes up here!